If you have been paying attention to the news in recent years, you will have noticed the major increase in cyberattacks and cybercrime. These attacks target all types of organizations, as well as individuals. It can seem as if no one is immune to them, and that can be quite scary at times.
With that being said, in this module we will try to answer 3 key questions regarding cyberattacks. First, what are they? Second, why do they occur? Lastly, how do we stop them? By being able to answer these questions, you will be in a better position to prevent yourself from being the victim of a cyberattack/cybercrime.
We will start off by talking about the different categories of cybercrimes. By understanding the types of crimes and how they are used, we will be able to recognize them more easily, and not be as likely to fall victim to them in the future.
The first category of cybercrimes are those that target a specific organization or individual. They type of crimes, more often than not, are cyberattacks as they aim to cause harm to those organizations or individuals. With that being said, these types of crimes are least likely to affect your average user. Instead, they often target government organizations or large companies. In addition, they are often politically or philosophically motivated.
The second category of cybercrimes are those that attempt to use private data, resources, or information. The intended victims of these types of cybercrimes range from average users, all the way up to the largest private or government organizations. Often the cybercriminals attempt to gain access to your bank accounts, social media, email, or other private information that they can then use to steal your identity. If you fall victim to this, it can be very difficult to undo all the problems that were created by the attack, thus knowing how to recognize them is especially important if we wish to avoid falling victim in the first place.
Now let's talk about the most common forms of cybercrimes. Some of these crimes are more likely to affect individuals, and some are more likely to affect larger organizations. However, no matter who you are, you can become a victim of each one of these different forms of cybercrime.
The first one we will discuss is malware. Malware can be defined as software which has been designed to operate in a malicious, undesirable manner. This could result in computer problems, theft of your private information, allowing an unauthorized user to gain access to your private accounts, or depriving you of access to your own information. Malware often disguises itself as a legitimate program or web link in order to entice you to download it onto your device. Once it is there, it now has access to your private data and accounts, causing you to regret ever downloading or clicking on it in the first place. A common type of malware that is often in the news today is ransomware. Ransomware is malware that encrypts the data on your device, preventing you from being able to access it. The only way you can regain access to it is by paying the cybercriminals a ransom fee to get the key to unlock the data. This can potentially cost the average user hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. The key to avoid becoming the victim of malware is to avoid clicking on links you receive in emails, or downloading software that you have not thoroughly investigated in order to ensure it is legitimate.
Phishing is a type of social engineering where an attacker sends a fraudulent message. The message is designed to trick a person into revealing sensitive information to the attacker, or to deploy malicious software on the victim's device, such as ransomware. Phishing is the most common type of cybercrime, as it is so easily deployed. It does not take any special technological skills in order to commit a phishing attack. With that being said, phishing is also the easiest crime to prevent in the first place.
Denial of service attacks are intended to prevent a user or organization from being able to use their devices if they are intended. Most often, these types of cyber attacks are directed at websites and servers, not the average end user. However, ransomware could be considered a type of denial of service attack since it denies you the use of your data.
A man-in-the-middle attack is a type of cyber attack in which the attacker secretly intercepts and relays messages between two parties who believe they are communicating directly with each other. The attack is a type of eavesdropping in which the attacker intercepts and then controls the entire conversation. This can result in the cyber criminal obtaining sensitive information that was only intended to be seen by the other party.
The last type of cybercrime, zero-day exploits, is when hackers take advantage of a software security flaw to perform a cyber attack. This type of security flaw is only known to hackers, meaning software developers have no clue to its existence, and have no patch to fix it. This makes zero-day exploits very likely to succeed. Quite often, the end goal is to download malware onto a device that can then deliver ransomware, crash the hard drive, or spread across the network in search of other vulnerable targets. This type of attack can seldom be prevented.
Now that you are aware of the common forms of cybercrime, can you remember what is the most common cybercrime committed?
Your choices are 1. Malware. 2. Phishing. 3. Denial of service. 4. Man in the middle. Or 5. Zero-day exploits.
Which one do you think it is?
The correct answer is
phishing. If you recall, phishing is the most common type of cybercrime, as it is so easily deployed. This is the end of part 1 of this module, but we will cover more on phishing in part 2.